Alrighty, Shark Customs. Friday night, a little bit late. Thrashed quite a bit on the 51 Ford. As you can see, we've got the rad in, we've got the electric fan in. Still got to wire some stuff. We got a lot of the fabricating done. We've got a lot of the mechanical. I'm just gonna go over, you know, if you're looking around the firewall and stuff, you can see this nylon block. There used to be actually the Ford solenoid was bolted here. I actually put this goes down to the starter. The starter had to fabricate a battery tray, which is located underneath the truck on the side of the frame, with some shielding around it, you know, kind of stone, let's say stone proof. But we wanted to put isolation block here with a hot, that way if you ever had to boost the truck, you can, the hood is like a, that's the dog. You know what the dog's doing? He's drinking a beer. Look at it. He's playing with a beer can. Hey? Look at it. Look at this crazy bugger. Mad Max. Look at this. There we go. There we go. That's what you like. He's a beer hound. Hey, he's a beer hound. He's a beer hound. But yes. So you can manually pop the hood, and if you had to boost it, you can literally put your booster cable on here, ground it, you know, just about anywhere. So put that there, and it's nice if you wanted a direct, if you wanted to add something else that needed to be direct powered, you could just undo the bolt and, you know, you could put it there. This other wire here, which is also connected to it, I'm pretty positive I kind of traced it back, you know, through the vehicle, and that's the main power that's kind of feeding the fuse panel and whatnot. And so the objective for this afternoon was to basically get the battery and the battery tray underneath the vehicle, get all the power wires hooked up. Hey, you crazy bugger! And basically get a power source so we can start. Oh man, come on man, you're ruining the video. Give me the can. Come on, give me the can. Give me the can. You're being loud and obnoxious. Give me the can. Come on, give me the can. Now, if you could just bring me beers like that, hey? If you could just bring me the beers in the cans like that. You know what we do with the cans, right? I'm sorry. I'm sorry to take your fun away. There'll be another one coming up shortly. Don't worry. Now, I forgot where I was. So the objective was to basically just try and get the truck, you know, the electrical I needed to get done. There's more electrical. There's a little bit inside. I'm working on, I'm going to close these up. Yes, my garage, look at it. It's a freaking mess, man. It is literally what I call a cluster. You know, there's just stuff everywhere because we've been kind of thrashing on this. We've got a box of wiring here. We got nuts and bolts. We got nuts and bolts in this case. We've got a nice assortment of, you know, just all kinds of electrical connectors here. It's a bonus kind of having this kind of stuff around. It's lacking a few things. Look at the little bugger found another one. You believe it? So I'm also creating the shifter. Because it's a truck, I've made this little sheet metal piece. I gotta put some extra supports in it. My idea is to actually cut this out. So I'm gonna put some heavy, probably 1/4 inch, 2-inch flat bar on the bottom of this. So I can actually bolt it to the floor, and then I'll probably come up off of those, across, up, across, so I can bolt the actual shifter to it so it's nice and you know, I can't bolt the shifter to the sheet metal. It'd be all kind of wobbly. But yeah, so I worked on that today. Yeah, sharp sheet metal, kind of, it bit me. Oh, another new addition. I just got this. My father, my dad, grabbed this for me. It's a Power Fist. Our local, well, we don't have a local one, but he was going over to Princess Auto, another city just outside of Guelph here, and he grabbed me this because this one right here, this one is freaking garbage. And I've welded it a few times. You can't really weld cast with a MIG welder, and I cannot hold anything in this. And I love that vise, but I wrecked it. You know, I wrecked it. I had some metal clamped in here, and I bashed it with like a 10-pound sledgehammer, trying to bend it. You know, fabricating some stuff. And I literally busted it off right there. I broke it off there before, and that one actually held up, but this one, yeah, it's just not holding up. So back to the truck. So literally we've got a Mallory coil. We had the Mallory Unilite breakerless ignition system, which has a module in it, and this was in there with the coil pack. You know, I looked up the schematics for the wiring, hooked it all up. I even put a ignition ballast resistor in play, which, you know, I haven't used one of these. No, I've never used one. I usually take these off of vehicles and kind of do that with them, you know, because it's like they run pretty hot, you know, because of what they're kind of doing. So basically we had it all hooked up. We tried to turn it over. You know, we've got good fuel, no spark. So it's like, you know, check a bunch of stuff, check the wiring schematics again, you know, online, obviously. That's where I go for my information. You know, I Google it and look at images and get the wiring schematics, and it's like, okay, well, you know what? All my shit's good. All my shit's good. I wired it right, and it was like, so why no spark? So then we start to troubleshoot. You know, we start to troubleshoot the coil. We start to troubleshoot the distributor, and it's kind of like, you know, it's really only so much that you can do on the vehicle, troubleshooting it. And it's like, you know, this is a simple setup, man. That's really all you need. You need fuel and you need spark, and it's that simple. And I wish I had another coil pack, because I'm undetermined to whether it was, you know, if there's an issue with the coil pack or if there's an issue with the distributor. Now I'm sure that there's... He's eating the can. You believe that? So yeah, I'm undetermined. Look at this. He's got bits and pieces of aluminum on the chair. What a crazy cooter. Yeah, you're not allowed cans. You're not allowed beer cans. What are you doing? So yeah, it's undetermined whether, you know, I mean, I'm sure there's ways I could test the distributor, and there's ways I could probably test the coil. You know, I get a little frustrated when, you know, I'm trying to troubleshoot something, and everything that I'm aware of, or that I know, you know, and I do some pretty crazy stuff, you know, like I'll take literally the power plug off the coil, and you know that these coils where you put your plug wire into the top of the distributor, you know that that is, I don't know, like 1,000,000 volts going into the distributor. I literally hook a spark plug to the other end of it, you know, set it down here, you know, put the power to it to see what happens. I've blown up, trust me, I've blown up many test lights doing that, you know. Put it on there, crank it over, poof, blows the bulb, and it's like, well, yeah, it's getting some type of juice, you know. Like, how much? Who knows? I've mistakenly put my hand on the top of a distributor like that Mallory, and the wires were not, you know, let's just say up to par, you know, with the vehicle running to adjust the distributor, the timing, and gotten zapped probably beyond, you know, what you really, you know. Hey, I've done house electrical and been zapped by that many times. That, trust me, it doesn't compare. It doesn't compare to, you know, a frickin' gazillion volts coming off of a coil pack. Trust me, that hits you, it hits you hard, and it's like you're laying on the ground going, never doing that again. Never gonna touch another one again. And I do it, you know what? That's how I turn this. That's how I turn a distributor. Notice we've got an HEI in here. You know, just a stock GM HEI. This is not hooked up. It's just it's just bolted there. So I had a few laying around here. I'm gonna grab. So I had this one. This was the first one I dropped in there. You know, of course, I had to make sure. Oh, small block, big block. Are they the same? And yeah, you know what? Small block Chevys, big block Chevys. There's a few things. There's a few things on them that are kind of compatible, and distributors being one of them. And I had this one in. Right now, it's been gutted. I took the module out of it. This one actually kind of had a 3-prong module. Not something I see a whole lot, but I had this one plunked in there. You know, we had to reset the timing and all that stuff, bring it up to top dead center, make sure that #1 cylinder was on the compression stroke, plunked it in there, put the spark plug wires and everything on it, and we turned it over, and it was like, what? No fire. You know, we had fuel. Pulled #1 spark plug wire off, put a spark plug on it, checked it for spark, no spark. That's all I'm going to say about that one. I grabbed the second one. The second one was actually making some noise when I spun it. It was like doing this weird clicky, buzzy thing, so I literally sprayed it out with WD-40 all underneath the cap. like all the mechanical stuff. And then I blew it out with some air and spun it, and I was like, wow, the clicky, the clicky noise kind of went away. And I was like, huh. So when I pulled the other one, the one I just threw away, when I pulled it out of there, the way the rotor turned, basically I put this one, not the cap. It was the same cap, I just moved it up here. And I dropped it in exactly the same way, and the rotor turned, it dropped right into place. I tightened it up, I put the cap on it, and basically what I did, I'm gonna move my bevy. We're gonna swap spots, me and the camera girl, and basically I came around this side and I turned the ignition on and gave the carburetor just a little squirt of fuel, and I hit the starter button. And that was the result. It fired right up, man. I haven't even adjusted the distributor. Whenever I drop the distributors in, top dead center, I always give them just a little, I give them a little wee tweak of advance. I told the camera girl, I said, I'm not going to rev the shit out of it, man, because it's fucking late at night. And we're running right off the exhaust manifolds, and we've got the garage full of exhaust smoke now. I'm sorry, I had to do that because I needed to know. I just needed to know. I just needed to know what it sounded like. The dog's freaking, man. He does not like that wild snap, of an engine, any engine for that fact. You're okay, buddy. You're okay. Yes, you're okay. You're okay. You're okay. Yes, it's okay. It's okay. He'll be fine. Trust me. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. He's got to get used to it, man. You know what? This dog, grinders, welders, like the airlines, blowing air, using air tools. This dog, it doesn't faze him. But every time I fire up a motor, he just freaks, man. He goes, yeah, you're okay. You're okay, Max. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, we're done. We're done, man. We're done. But there you have it, man. What do we got? It's just coming up out of the, it's just residue coming up out of the engine, out of this little hole here. It's just warming up. We didn't even barely get it warm. I can see the white paint on the exhaust manifolds. Yeah, she was starting to cook a wee bit. But not bad for just kind of dropping the distributor in. Wasn't too sure about this carburetor. Carburetor seems to work good. There's a little, it's got a little weird spot in it. I noticed when I revved it, but that's not really an issue. But yeah, nothing like dropping in an HEI. A lot of people don't know that when you run coils, whether it be a coil pack like this or the old school round ones, that when you turn the ignition on, if you leave your ignition on accidentally, let's say you put the ignition on, you don't have an accessory where you turn the key back. Let's say you turn the ignition on and you want to listen to the radio in your vehicle. A lot of people don't know that it will literally blow up. It will blow up the coil pack. And, you know, I mean, trust me, I know from experience, leaving the ignition turned to the on, like the, you know, not starting, but just the powered position. I've literally, I've blown a few of those things up. They don't actually blow up, they're full of oil. The round ones, they're full of oil, and they pop the top, and they hiss, and they spit oil out like all over the place, and it just creates such a frickin' big mess, you know. And it's like, a lot of people don't know that. I thought I would just, you know, kind of mention it. With an HEI though, you know what? You can leave the ignition on all day long. All it's going to do is the coil in the top of the HEI it's going to get warm, but all it's going to do is just going to drain your battery. But it's not going to cook the coil. It's not going to blow it up. It's not going to do nothing. You're just going to drain your battery. That's really all it's going to do. Whereas these things, you know, these external coil packs or the round coil packs, you know, the flamethrowers, and, you know, they got different names for all of them. Those suckers, man, especially if they're oil filled. I don't know about the newer style ones that are gel packed, but I know the oil ones, you know, I see guys mount them like sideways like this. It's like, what are you doing, man? That thing's full of oil. You know, I've seen people ask if they can mount it upside down. You know, put the plug wire on this way, and it's like, no, 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 no. No, you can't do that. Those things are supposed to be upright because they're oil filled. Just food for thought. That's all. But there you go. You got a little rundown on the 51 Ford, and I'm sure the owner, Paul, I'm sure you'll probably watch this having breakfast tomorrow morning, and yeah, I'll be seeing ya, and yeah, cheers to all. That's our segment for tonight. Shark Customs. Share, like, subscribe. Don't forget to comment. Peace. The freak is out.